Hi guys, welcome back to the In the Deep End podcast. I am Cosmic.
I'm Shanda.
And go ahead and watch this video really quick.
You know, most people don't understand what it's like to have social anxiety. I do, because I've dealt with it all my life. It's like walking in a crowded room and still feeling alone. Like every eye is judging you. So you shrink yourself, you stay quiet, you make yourself small. It's rehearsing conversations before they even happen because you're so afraid of saying the wrong things. It's dodging invitations. Not because you don't want to go, but because your mind has convinced you that you shouldn't be there. You know, social anxiety doesn't just make you nervous. It makes you believe you don't belong. You know the hardest part? People mislabel you. They misjudge you. They misunderstand you. People think that you're stuck up, you're distant, you're cold, uninterested, but they don't see the overthinking. They don't realize you're quiet, not because you think that you're better than them. You actually want to connect with them. But deep down, you don't feel like your words matter. They don't know what it's like to truly want connection, but feel paralyzed by the fear of not being enough. If you struggle with social anxiety, please listen to me. Your mind is lying to you. You do belong. You are enough. And the next time that voice tells you otherwise, don't believe it. You are not your thoughts. You are so much more. Like I always tell you, it all starts with you. Share this if you care to.
So this video was inspired by one of our subscribers who kind of shared that they struggle with social anxiety. And so with this video is actually interesting because I think in a way I have a degree and always have had a degree of social anxiety. But I don't think that I can really relate to it on this level as far as not feeling like you're, not feeling like you're enough or like not feeling like you're enough. But I can relate to the whole, you kind of shrink yourself because you're used to being misunderstood, so you don't want to say anything at all. You just kind of want to like fade into the background. It's like I get that a lot because especially with me, people they take the things that I say or the expressions I have or whatever it is, and they completely kind of twisted into, I guess, whatever it is they got going on. So that does definitely give me a sense of social anxiety, if this is the so-called description of it. And as far as the whole rehearsing conversations before you have them and all of those different things, I can kind of relate to that. I can kind of relate to that a little bit. I do think, or I have learned to kind of filter my conversation. So my conversation isn't really as fluid as some people because I'm thinking, okay, well, how is this going to be perceived? Are they understanding what I'm saying? Because I'm a very passionate person. So when I do speak fluidly, a lot of the times it's misunderstood. My point's misunderstood. I may seem confrontational, but I'm really just passionate about what it is I am saying or the point I'm trying to make or whatever the case may be. And it's never received well. So does that give me a layer of, I'd love to talk, but I'd rather not, or I'd love to connect, but I'd rather not. Absolutely. So yeah, I thought that this video was actually interesting.
Well, as far as social anxiety goes for me, a lot of the things that he was talking about, I have not experienced, but one thing I have experienced is when I was younger, I was much darker when I was younger than I am now. Old age is changing the tone of my skin, but when I was young, I was dark and I was always I felt like I was ostracized because of it. and I was called all kinds of different names and stuff like that, things like that. And that kind of gave me a level of social anxiety. And it took me a long time to work through that. But I can, as far as going into a room and kind of shrinking, I can definitely relate to that. But by the grace of God, I was able to get past that and use it to my benefit and feel good about who I was. Even though all of the negative things people had to say, those things kind of fell by the wayside and no longer mattered. So that's the only way that I can relate to any sign of social anxiety. But the older I got, I'm like, the bright spot in the room. So I think, I'm like, boom, guess who stepped in the room? That's how I feel. But, that's, it took me a long time to get there, though.
Yeah, and I guess that's why this topic is so interesting to me. It's almost like you said, like when you step into the room, you're kind of like, guess who just stepped in the room? Boom, right? It's like I was talking to my therapist not too long ago, and I was telling him how I feel like that, but it's more of an internal thing. Like it's not something that I outwardly express. And he kind of took that as, well, if that's not how you really feel, then I said, no, but it is. But it's very hard for me to be that person and then accept kind of what comes. And one thing that he told me is you have to remember all of the things that you represent being you. And that's that not people are sometimes just looking at the things you represent and they're not looking at who you are. So you can't take their reactions to you so personal, because sometimes it's not about who you are as an individual, but what you represent in your entirety.
Right.
And so that kind of made me look at things a lot differently. But I also have a really, really nasty temper, so it's better I kind of fade into the background as much as I can. That way there's no reason, or there's less of a chance of there being any sparks flying.
So you do it intentionally, only so things don't get out of hand, or
right,
you're trying to maintain the situation.
Right. And
you don't feel like...
Well, because, and this is what I kind of relate to the guy, another thing I relate to, he says that, people with social anxiety, they don't think that they're better than you. They don't think that, you're beneath them, or whatever the case may be. They're not stuck up. And people have that opinion of me, whether I'm introverted or extroverted. They have this
ultimately it's fear.
I don't know what it is, and I kind of have caught myself like trying to bring myself down to where they are, to kind of say, like, I have no problem with where you are, who you are as a person, but no matter what I try to do or how I try to, navigate it, I always have this perception that, oh, this person thinks that they're better than us, or that, he's so much better than we are. They're stuck up. They're all of these things. And it's just kind of...
Ultimately, though, what it sounds like to me is ultimately it's fear. And it could be fear on many levels. Fear of, like, a situation getting out of hand, like you said, due to a bad temper.
But they wouldn't know that.
Or no, I'm saying the person within themselves. They have social anxiety.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Whether it's fear that, someone's going to upset them and things are going to get out of hand. Whether it's fear of not being accepted. Whether it's fear of being made fun of. Whatever the case, ultimately that bottom line sounds to me like it's fear.
And I think that it's kind of like the Jungle Book. It's like sometimes fear is the appropriate way to go. It's the appropriate response. Because you don't want to get yourself in any trouble.
Well, fear
anything.
does breed caution, and that's a good
It does.
thing. Some people need to be more fearful.
Right.
But,
some people need to be more cautious of their
right.
whole. And then I also think, on the other hand, there's always a better Billy Badass. People are getting shot at Subway over put too much mayonnaise on their sandwich. So there's also that aspect too.
Yeah.
And society is a little bit crazier now, so I could see why or how
should be fearful.
A lot of people have social anxiety, because you just don't know about people. So that's another way to look at it too, now that I think about it. So yeah, I think it was interesting. I don't think that it's the whole pie, and it doesn't wrap up the whole entirety of social anxiety, but I've heard several times on TikTok people say like they have to rehearse going to fast food places because they have this anxiety about awful. Even ordering their food.
Terrible.
Or they'll have their girlfriend or their boyfriend do it.
That's a terrible thing.
I don't know social anxiety on that level.
Yeah.
Because there's like two polarities to who I am. There's the cautious side, and then there's the you only live once, fuck it, whatever happens side. So I like to think that those things are blended well, so maybe that's why I don't have this overwhelming social anxiety to the point where I couldn't order my food or tell the person at the window or the waitress or the server that, hey, I asked for this, or hey, this is what I want, can you get? Yeah, I don't know. I feel bad for those people, to be honest. I feel bad for those people, but I do understand on a level. I do. I can relate I can empathize on a smaller level.
Yeah, just thinking about what you said about what you saw on TikTok, how people have to rehearse with simple daily tasks, and it's just that's hurtful to me to think that someone's life is that complicated.
It's kind of like when I hear stuff like that, that's like the stuff that makes me think like, oh, I don't have social anxiety.
Right.
If that's
yeah.
what social anxiety is, no, I'm just like introverted. I'm just, to myself. But
I guess there's different levels, just like everything else.
To everything,
yeah.
And I'm a firm believer in that now. It's like when I was younger, I kind of definitely thought like things didn't have a grayscale. But as I've gotten older, I've learned that there's kind of a spectrum to things. And sometimes something's more of an umbrella than it is a pinpoint.
Yeah, I don't have anything else either. Thanks, you guys, so much for watching.
Bye.